Hi, YouTube. Right. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Instagram. All right, all right, all right, all right. I have no idea why I'm saying that. Hi, and welcome. Good morning. Today, I am a little bit stuffy. Is there a comment here? Oh, yeah, I can comment. Hi. And can this be pinned, this comment? Oh my god, that is possible to do on TikTok. I didn't know. Hi everybody and welcome. Hi TikTok. Hi everyone. Welcome. I'm a little bit stuffy today, as you can hear from my voice. Can you hear the sound? It switched. I didn't want that to happen. Give me 1 second, TikTok. Let me figure out this sound because it switched. Okay, it moved. I am back. Hi, hi. I am back. I just had to figure out the sound. Today, I will be doing African Goddess Rising. African Goddess Rising. Hello, YouTube. Hi, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Today we will be doing African Goddess Rising. But before I start, hello, Kifra. Hi, welcome. Pleasure to see you. I am still working on my setup. And today, as you can see, TikTok is pretty close because I changed tables. So you can see my head. And they always tell us in school that that is not good. But before I start today, I wanted to talk a little bit about anger, right? I wanted to just talk a little about what I learned when it comes to anger. If you, especially TikTok, it says I'm using too much memory. I don't know what that means in terms of TikTok. Anybody who knows, please let me know. I'm using too much memory. I don't know. TikTok, my account on TikTok, when you look at it, I think I pinned the post maybe where Maya Angelou was talking about the power of anger and how we can use anger for creativity, right? It's also on my Instagram and YouTube, but Instagram, the next one that I connect to, which is the Oracle's Place. And that is true. I personally believe that. I know some people don't believe that. Sorry, YouTube and Facebook. Just want to get some of the sage, right? I know a lot of people don't believe or maybe don't even know the power of anger and how creative anger can be. Hi, Pretty Ricky. Thank you and welcome. There was a time, I don't know what that is. There was a time I didn't know the power of my own anger and how to channel it, right? I had no idea because nobody has ever talked to me about the power of anger and how we can use anger to create. Thank you, MD. Yes, John, it's all energy. And anger in itself, just like any other emotion, it's not negative, right? Anger is very powerful because when you can channel it in what you do, and we were just talking about it yesterday in my campus, right? I am in the real world, and they were telling us how the obsession that you have, or even the trauma that you went through in your life, that pain It's a wonderful tool to use in whatever creative nature you're doing. Because whatever you're doing, you have to be creative. Even if you're working a job, even if you have a job, some people say, I am not an artist, but I think everybody's an artist because you need to create, right? So anger is a powerful tool, the same as the trauma that we usually talk about. We talk about adverse childhood experiences. And I personally believe that, sorry, my nose, like I said, I've been sneezing all day today. I know for myself too, if I didn't go through what I went through as a child, I probably will not be able to sit here and talk to you, right? I'm doing a challenge with Lisa Nicole called 5 Day Speaker Challenge, and she talks about how our story, the story we have, the pain that we went through, how we can use that to help others. And I believe that's why I am sitting here. But there is also destructive anger, which most of us are used to. And the reason I'm talking about this, I'm starting this today, is that in my neighborhood where I am, my neighbor just this morning was going crazy. He was on the phone, right? This is a story time. He was on the phone, and I'm in my living room. So this is my living room, and then you have the balcony and the balcony door. And normally I don't have curtains, so whatever's going on outside, you can hear it from within because I mean the walls are very thin. So I just kept hearing somebody screaming outside, and I was wondering, okay, what's going on in the neighborhood again? So I looked out, and it was my neighbor right next door here on his phone, talking on his phone. And he was very angry, angry to the point that he was screaming out in the neighborhood. And what he was angry about was pertaining to his dog. Now, I don't know what the story is, but one thing that I have learned is if you cannot channel your anger, if you cannot control your emotions, that is when anger and your emotions become destructive. And then it turns out to be a destructive habit. And that is not helpful. I don't know about you all. Hi, top of the day. Today is your wedding anniversary and you're celebrating by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Happy wedding anniversary. It's also interesting if it's your wedding anniversary. You're celebrated by yourself, and we still haven't seen you in the Telegram group. Hi, Lady Jola. Hi, welcome. So I was talking about anger, right? And I gave a story about my neighbor being on his phone and being so angry that he is screaming out in the neighborhood. This is somebody I know, right? Peace, 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 John. And so what I was saying is that anger to that point of not being able to control your emotions, being so angry to the point that you are throwing a temper tantrum. This is when it can be destructive, and it can also be a destructive habit. And I don't know about all of you, but personally, how I was raised, I don't like that TikTok is so close and it's like here. How I was raised, right? Everybody's always throwing a temper tantrum. And before I understood trauma, before I understood my own trauma, I didn't know that a grown up, a fully grown up, when they are throwing a temper tantrum, it is connected to whatever they went through as a child, especially not being able to process their emotion. Personally, I think, like I said before, anger is a powerful tool that you can use. I just don't want to put the energy out there. May I inbox you, Queen? It depends what you're going to inbox me about. See, you know, right? So when you feel that pain and you feel that anger coming up, that is a moment of awareness, right? Like I said, when you are in a creative field, whatever field you are in, because I think generally, right, we are just creative beings, we are co-creators. So that anger is a way, it's a tool that you can use in whatever field and venture you are in to help you get further. But you would need to have something going on, right? My African sisters would say you need to have something doing. You need to be doing something in your life. But if you don't have much going on in your life, you can sleep at to any time, you can wake up at any time. There's no, and I don't want to say structure, but your life is not focused on anything that is developmental to yourself or that helps your community or that helps your family. You are just there. Then you don't have anywhere to channel your anger. Then that becomes destructive to yourself first and then to everybody around you. And the reason that I'm talking about this is initially, this is a person that I actually truly appreciated and loved him greatly, right? And the girlfriend, too, is a wonderful woman. And I would always hang out with them. But I didn't know this about them because, like I always talked about, my family was exactly like that. So I could never understand or be able to see red flags. And that is a red flag, somebody who cannot control their anger. Fortunately for me, and I always talk about Coach Stormy because I am in her community, and I also talk about Andrew Tate because I am in his school studying content creation, artificial intelligence, as well as business mastery. Two of them, listening to their work and being in their community, they always talk about being able to control your emotion and your anger because both of them have gone through their own childhood traumas. This is when I was able to understand and to realize that many of the adults that I was surrounded by who were constantly throwing temper tantrum had what is called arrested development. And arrested development, if you know what that means, put it in the chat and let me know, right? And then we can talk about that because I think it's a serious issue. Most of the time, we're in environments or even ourselves, right? We're holding our emotions in, we cannot let it out. For me, right now, what I'm doing, many people might say, oh, she's teaching, or she's helping, or she's so wise. But in a nutshell, what I'm doing is expressing my emotions. Because as soon as the event happened, I started thinking about my uncle used to talk like that, get so angry on the phone or even in person, throwing a tantrum. The oldest uncle, my oldest uncle. And then the youngest uncle in my family also would always act like that, getting very angry. They didn't have anywhere to channel his anger. And so I took all that pain in because whenever he wasn't able to channel the anger anywhere or smoke his weed to calm his down, that means that day I will get a very good beating to the point that I fall asleep. And then I realized just listening to the guy screaming on the phone, my own mother That's how she talks and expresses herself, always angry and screaming. And I know many of us, especially the people who watch me regularly or relate to what I'm saying, you probably were raised in that because that is how we would connect, right? Together. So I had to see that and understand that. And now what I am doing is expressing that emotion, which is opening the throat chakra for the people who want to talk about that or want to delve into that. But if generally in your everyday life you're always holding in your emotions and how you feel, one, it's a very easy way of getting stuck in life because there's so much inside. You hold your emotion, you hold your anger inside. However you feel, you cannot speak about it and you cannot talk to people about it. You can't even talk to your own family about what is going on in your life right now. A lot of diseases start from that. Some heart diseases, back pains, because it's stress, right? And I had to see that, okay, this is a guy I know. I was hanging out with them and I had to stop hanging out with them during my purge and listening to, my coaches right now break down these issues. And actually, in the real world, whenever Andrew Tate has an interview, there will be a section where there's another professor who would break down the conversation, the body language, the emotions, break down the questions. So psychologically, we will get to see or delve deeper into the human nature and human psyche. And that made me understand and see how a lot of things that has been normalized in our society, not only is it toxic, but it's generally trauma. So your anger, for the people who are watching, hi Lady Jola, you're from Gambia. I know your name is Jola. Jola, you have to be from West Africa. That's how I, realized that our parents, most of us, our parents, not only are they traumatized, but they have never healed. Because just not long ago, I think last year was it, or in the beginning of this year, there was a situation in my family. And most of the people, my auntie, my mom, my uncle, or uncles, were throwing temper tantrums. And it's a sobering thing for me to realize generally, and just the realization that I've truly grown as a person, as a human being, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. I have grown, but my family, I don't know now, but my family have not grown yet. If you ever feel crazy around your family, that might be his car outside. If you ever feel crazy around your family, or you feel like, I don't know, there's this weird feeling that you usually feel around people, right? It could be questioning your own reality, which is a part of gaslighting, where you know what you're feeling is right, your intuition is talking to you, but you deep within yourself, you feel like, no, I might be wrong because this is my family. And so I don't just trust that feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe somebody can tell me how it shows up for them or how they feel it. But anyway, let's get into the cards. I just wanted to talk about anger very quickly and to say, because a lot of time men especially, hi Fatimata, a lot of time, men especially, I mean, it happens to women, but we are mostly emotional. We get angry and we start crying right away, wherever we are. But great afternoon, sunshine. But for men, especially when it comes to anger, it's either they have to mask it, they have to hold it back, their aggressiveness, they cannot talk about it, or they can't express their aggressiveness. And personally, I believe that is an aspect of masculinity, expressing your anger, showing your anger, even as a woman, is healthy. But you also need a venture. You need a place somewhere to channel it, that anger, that aggressiveness, that obsession in your craft, in the work that you're doing, in something that you love, right? There are some people who show that in the gym, or they take all that energy to the gym, they work out. When I feel depressed or things like that, that's where I channel my anger. Now that I'm doing this, hello, Allah, Joe. Hi, Allah, Allah, Joe. Oh, Alai. Sorry, Alai, Joe. Hi, Alai. For me, as somebody who's always suffered from a very bad temper, because like I said, that's the environment I grew up in. What I am doing now, this work that I am doing, it is my way of channeling whatever pain that comes, whatever anger that I have, right? Whatever obsession I've always had as a child, but have never really able to express it. So what I'm doing now and what I'm doing here is my way. Sometimes when I come on, or the people who are joining me new, if you go back to my other videos, there are times where I'm just like fiery. I am channeling all of that out in a more positive way. Right? So let's get in the cards. As always, it's a collective read, nothing personal. It's a collective read of what we need to work on. Let's place our intention, right? Place our intention, ask our question, speak to whoever you believe in, the universe, the ancestors, and whatever it is that you want to hear. And sorry, my nose is dripping today. Okay, the cats. I am 100% sure my daughter was playing with them. Always put your anger to good use. Always put your frustration to good use, right? Be able to control your emotions and your anger. Because if you cannot control that, it is an easy way. It is it is an easy way to be manipulated, right? And for your buttons to be pushed every single time. Because when people know which buttons to choose, when to choose it, now they control you. I learned that the hard way. As always, everything I talk about, I learned the hard way. Before I understood how to take control of myself and my emotions, I didn't realize that a lot of people understood and realized this. So they would use that against me. And people do this. One card. One card. Maybe one day I will do a spread. I've never done a spread before. One, just one. Ancestors, just one, not two. Just one card for the day that we can break down. Just one, not two. Two more shuffles, and if nothing comes out, I will pick one card and we will look into it. Demal nga read sa book, baby. Jëlal book nga read. Better than sitting there and dancing with what I'm doing. One card, one card, one card, one card, one card, one card. Sitira. Brazen, I don't know what is Brazen. 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 That is the advice of the card. Brazen. You see that? YouTube, Facebook, that's what it is. Here we go. Brazen. I'll have to look that up because I do not know what that is. So let's see what I can get from this. Can everybody see it? Here we go. And it's what? 17? 17. So it's page 34. South America, Guyana. Goddess of brazenness. Yes, Braze. It means disrespectful, conceited. And Sitira is from Guyana. The temple is warriors and fire. Goddess Sitira is the energy and spirit of Buxton in Guyana, South America. Sitira is brave, bold, brazen, am I saying it right? Brazen, and barefaced, casting a spell with her hips. Yes, I remember. See, I know you are from Guyana. I've been looking for you in the group. I haven't seen you. And the guidance is step up, go for it. Partner with the divine to make brazen choices, and everything meant to diminish you will elevate you. Quite interestingly, right? We spoke about anger. Anger, I know you are dealing with a lot. That is why I said, join us. We're not looking for people who are not dealing with anything, because then you have no emotions to channel in what you're doing. We're looking for people who are dealing with a lot, so we can take all those powerful energies together and channel it somewhere. I know you are. That's why I keep telling you join. Exactly. I know. That's why I say join us. I know. Step up. Go for it. Partner with the divine to make brazen choices, and everything meant to diminish you will elevate you. All who mean you harm fall away. Your huddles are illusions because you are plugged into the source. If this is talking to you, let me know in the chat. Cause I am feeling that today. If you see my posts, especially It is, right? See, it is. Yeah. If you see my post on Instagram, even inside the group today, I was talking about this very issue. Let me read that part again before we went to the embodiment. The guidance, right? The guidance for today. Step up, go for it. Partner with the divine to make brazen choices, and everything meant to diminish you will elevate you. All who mean you harm fall away. Your hurdles are illusions because you are plugged into the source. And that is very, very true. The moment you elevate your mind, the more you elevate yourself. I want to buy a session with you. Can do it here, then understand the Telegram. The Telegram is basically easy, right? And I can tell you, yes, pay me for a session. But I know what you're looking for. When you join the Telegram group, you don't have to pay me for it. If you send me the money, I will take it. But the steps that you need to take, we already have the resources. And you don't have to do much. You click the button. If you already have Telegram, you just join the group. If you don't have Telegram, you download it, come back to my bio. It's easy. And really, listen, good day, Afrocentric. Let me be honest with you. I can take your money, and it's not that I don't want it. You want a private session? We can do it, and I'll take your money. But that I wouldn't. That's not. I wouldn't be truthful to you. I wouldn't be truthful to you, right? Because all the resources that you would need, I can give them to you in the group for free. You want to give me money? You can give it to me another way. If you really want a session, we can do that. But the easiest way for you, for the people who are in the group, let me know. You join the group, you go through the resources, take the stuff you need, whatever it is that you don't have in there, you let me know. I find it for you and I post it there. If you still want to give me money, you can send me a cash app. Now I'm being very honest with you. You are going through something, and I know you are. I know you are going through something, but I'm not telling you to join because I think you're not going through anything. I'm telling you to join specifically because you are going through something, right? And computers don't intimidate you. You're making a lot of excuses. You are on TikTok. Whatever you are using right now to be on TikTok, that's the only thing that you need to be in that group. Okay, I'm gonna stop because you want to make a whole lot more excuses. You're not stuck enough. See, when you are sick and tired of really being sick and tired, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever it takes, you will do it to relieve yourself of the pain that you're going through. Hi, Shanda. Hello, Nosaya. Happy birthday in advance. Black really don't crack. A lot of the ladies, I thought they were a lot younger, right? And then whenever they say their age, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta be a little bit more respectful. I saw another lady and I thought she was in her 30s, and then she posted about her son getting married. And I'm like, oh my God, ma'am, I thought you were in your 30s. You've just joined Lady Jola. Great. So all the resources, go through them. You can comment anywhere. If there's anything extra that you need that's not there, just make a comment and then I'll get you there. And that's how we do it, right? Whenever you feel that you want to send me money, you can send me a cash app. But in terms of this journey and this work, right, you don't need to send, you don't need a personal one-on-one with me, because I'll get you the stuff for free, right? And then when you elevate yourself and then you elevate your mind and things start to fall off and you feel a lot better, you will find other ways that make more sense for you to give me the money that you want to give me, right? So don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. Excuses put you back. Let's read that again. Step up. Go for it. Partner with the divine to make brazen choices, and everything meant to diminish you will elevate you. All who mean you harm fall away. Your hurdles are illusions because you are plugged into the source. And this just came to mind now. All who mean you harm, it's not always other people. All who mean you harm can be yourself too. You can be your own harm. And so interestingly, I posted this in our groups today because one of our trainers was talking about David Goggins. And this is basically David Goggins' line, talking about how you need to callous your mind, put yourself in painful situations, because that's the fastest way to take risk. That's the fastest way to heal yourself. Because if you're comfortable or you're around people who are comfortable and they tell you that, oh, it's fine, or relax, or take a rest, you don't have to worry, all these things, that you don't grow. I was around these people, right? You don't grow. But when you are around people who call you out, which are the communities that I am in right now, there's no room for excuse. No matter what excuse we give inside our communities, they have something to show us that, like they say in the real world, you're just bullshitting. Stop bullshitting. They tell us this every day. So whatever you're going through, whatever's happening, all who mean you harm is not always people outside of you or things that are outside of you. Majority of the time, even the idea of the enemy is inside of you, right? The enemy is inside of you. Is the excuses you give, is the story you tell yourself, is the way that you see yourself, is how you talk about yourself, is the words that you use about yourself. Procrastination, self-doubt, self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, these are within us. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time, the people that we meet or the situations that are happening to us, the things that are triggering us, are just a reflection of whatever's happening inside of us. So, all who mean you harm, for me, and how I define it, is those things or those voices or those ideas within us that is stopping us from moving forward. The embodiment. Make the brazen, I need to find that word, brazen, because I don't know. Make the brazen decision. What would you dare to do if you knew you couldn't fail? This is a question I have heard a lot, and I've used it for journaling. It's a powerful question for journaling. What would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail or you couldn't fail? If 100% you knew that no matter what you did, no matter what steps you take, you cannot fail, what would you do? Another question that they used to give us was, if you had all the money you wanted, or let's put a number to it, if you had 50 million right now, whatever your goal is, 100 million. If you are a billionaire, a trillionaire, centimillionaire, and you knew that no matter what you did, oh, thank you. Thank you. It's so interesting. Now that people are saying that my voice is soothing, which is why I say usually the enemy is within us, because this is a compliment I always get, but I hated my voice for so long, right? What's her name? Maya Angelou talks about how she was mute for a long time. I feel for a long time I was mute as well. But like I was saying, but thank you. I don't know if this is a sir or a ma'am. You make a lot of excuses. See, you have all the resources and everything in front of you right now, this moment, to make you a healer. Right? The next question is if you had all the money that you needed, all the money in the world, you had $100 million, euro, whatever currency is the most powerful right now, what would you do with your life? Which is basically the same. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What this question does, if you really ponder on it, it means that you really can't fail. Because when you're around people who are going further, who are changing their lives, they tell you that failure it's just an idea. Because there's no way that you are failing. Because what you're doing is basically learning. You went to school, you want to go to school. You went to school, you didn't have the grades that you wanted. That is an experience that you can use to understand where your weaknesses are, find the resources that you need to make you stronger in those departments, so that the next time you take the test or you take the exam or whatever it is, you will pass. Nelson Mandela has a quote, "I never fail, I always learn." So everything is learning. But as children, if you've gone through, and I know you have because you wouldn't listen to me otherwise, you go through adverse childhood experiences. Why? Because as a child, everything that you did was a failure. Let me know if this makes sense to you, right? Facebook and YouTube, right? I know for myself, I was always afraid of failing. And fear is what? False evidence appearing real, that it's not real. They said when you're depressed and anxious, it's because when you're living in the past, reliving those experiences of what ifs and that. And then when you're fearful and afraid, it's because you are overthinking about the future, things that are not happening yet. But also what we don't know is it is those ideas that create our reality in the future of what is happening. Because when the future comes, it's going to be now. So whatever it is that you're afraid of that's going to happen in the future, you are afraid of it. At the same time, what you're doing is you are creating that reality for it to happen. In law of attraction, they say, what you really, really, really want, you get. What you really, really don't want, you get. Because it's our emotions that create, which is why when I first came, I was talking about anger, how you can use that anger to actually create. The same thing for fear. Imposter syndrome is all about fearing. When I first brought that topic up in one of our campuses, they said, well, that's good. The only time you have imposter syndrome or you have fear that you're going to fail when you start something, that means that you actually have to do that, which means you're thinking about it in a good way. So you have to choose. Do you want that to stop you, or do you want to use that emotion of fear, of anxiety, of anger to propel you forward instead of it knocking you down? And many a time we let it knock us down. There's another point I wanted to make, but it left my mind. Right. What would you dare to do if you knew you couldn't fail? It is brazen to be unapologetically you. It is brazen. Am I pronouncing that right? Please tell me. Brazen? 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 I don't know. It is brazen to speak up for someone not in the room. There's a quote that says that be around people, brazen, brazen. Well, it is bold. There's a saying that be around people who will stand up for you when you are not in the room. It is bold to choose a different spiritual path or career than your community. Fascinating thing, because I was having that conversation on the phone. It is bold to build your family your way. God, goddess, force, energy is bold. And the declaration or the affirmation is I am bold, brave, shameless, and shameless, and brazen. Yeah, I was having that conversation yesterday about the spiritual path, because in our communities, and even when you see me, I have the bracelets, the Orisha bracelets, right? I've had them for a while. So the African Orishas, their bracelets, even though I was born in a Muslim family. Now, in one of our communities, there's a lady that joined not long ago, and she wanted me to be her accountability partner, which basically is what our group is for, is an accountability network, the resources to elevate ourselves and our mind. And so she's a part of that group as well. But she was scared of these because she is from a Christian family and she is into her Christianity and all of that. But she hasn't gone to the point where she is open enough to be able to incorporate, right, or the beliefs or the ideas or the religions into her everyday life. That made her want to leave the community. And she was talking about, oh, my mother this, my father this, we're Christian, I am a Christian, and we don't know about this. And I understood that she hasn't really tapped into her African ancestry yet. Because the moment you tap into that, you are able to embody and bring in other denominations and other ways of thinking, right? So I had to tell her the community is very diverse. There are women and men from different races, from different religions, from different backgrounds, different ideas, African, Spanish, European, African American, Caribbean are all there. Muslims, Christians, right? Atheists, I don't know about atheists, but maybe. African spirituality is all inside the group. We are all there together. But things were freaking her out. Why? Because she is still not bold enough to choose a different spiritual path than the one in her community or the one of her family. even though she talks about, oh, she wants to manifest and she wants to do all these things. But born in sage freaks her out. And I'm like, how can, in my mind, I'm thinking, how can born in sage freak you out? But these are all ideas and ways of being that we have picked up within our communities and our family. So I just had to tell her, you are on the right path of questioning everything, right? That is the right path. You're questioning everything, questioning yourself, questioning me, why I have these on, questioning why we are born in sage and all these things, just to make her know that you have to question things. There's no one way of being or one way of believing. Let me read that again, and then if there are no questions, statements, or comments, we can cut it off. The guidance for today, Sitira, I'm just going to call the word bold. You can, I don't know, yeah, bold. Sitira, goddess of boldness, Guyana, and her temple is warriors, and her element is fire. Goddess Sitira is the energy and spirit of Buxton in Guyana, South America. Sitira is brave, bold, and barefaced, casting a spell with her hips. Gives me, I'm thinking hips don't lie. Shakira and was it Will.i.am or Black Eyed Peas? Step up, go for it. Partner with the divine to make bold choices, and everything meant to diminish you will elevate you. Afrocentric. All who mean you harm fall away. Like I said, all who mean us harm can we can easily categorize it as whatever that's within us that's stopping us from going. Because if you forget about haters or naysayers or what people are going to say or what people are going to do, blah, 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 if you take all that out of the way, the moment you elevate your mind spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you see all these people are not outside of you. All these people are you, are ourselves. Is this making sense to anybody? Right? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Is this making sense? That the people that we call the haters, the naysayers, the whatever, whatever, are just basically people inside of us. They are all inside of us. The person who hates you, or if you believe that wherever you go, people don't like you, there's an aspect of you that you don't like. So others are mirroring that to you. If you feel that you don't belong, there's a aspect of you where you don't feel like you belong. Your husband, fascinating. Absolutely. There you go, right? Even if you're in a toxic relationship, you are toxic. Even if you believe you are an empath, but you are attracting narcissists because you are narcissistic. You are attracted emotionally unavailable people. You are emotionally unavailable, right? It's us. Again, like I said, this is why I'm telling you be in the group, but you are making excuses. You're not tired enough. But you are sick and tired. Self-projected, right? Right, self-projected. We project it out there, which is why when you listen to a lot of uh, the teachers, the whoever, motivational speakers, they always say you are a co-creator in life. You create your life. You make your life, basically. There are things that are out of your control, But even Coach Stormy says, what you think about with deep emotion will come to life. So whatever you see that's happening outside, it is not outside of you, right? In Zen, one of my Zen teachers, when I was at the monastery, they would say that when we say inside and outside, they would always tell us there is no inside and outside. There is no inside of me and outside of me. There's no you here and people out there. Because you that I'm watching here, I'm not necessarily watching you, I'm watching myself. You are not watching me, you are watching yourself. Hello, Kine. Making sense. So there's no me and you. That's just words from the English language. Words. There's no me and you. We're one. And I'm not talking about it in a cliche way, but if you go deeper into your spirituality, you will see it, right? You're not listening to me simply because you want to. I mirror something that is inside of yourself. Am I going too far? So whatever, yeah, so all who mean you harm fall away. When you elevate, okay, thank you. Kine said true. When you elevate, everything that was disturbing your life moves away. It leaves you. The things that you are afraid of, the things that you think will never change, the problems that you think would never change, right? Being brokenness. In our campus, we say brokies. All of that will move away. Because just me by being here and not being scared anymore, there are people saying, I'll give you money. Let me give you money. Let me give you that. Which is absolutely wonderful. We are a reflection of one source, right? Which is absolutely wonderful. But there was a time in my life I didn't have people telling me these things because I was vibrating very low. And so the people that I attracted in my life, they just wanted to take from me. Why? Because the air that I carried, the energy that I carried myself was that narcissistic empath, even though people say empath, but it's narcissistic basically. I just wanted to give. And so people that I attracted, take. Make the bold decision. What would you dare to do if you knew you couldn't fail? It is bold to be unapologetically you. It is bold to be unapologetically you. I had to learn this too the hard way, as always, right? I spoke to one of my coaches and I was asking her, when you speak, when she speaks, she's part of our group, the Girl Hold My Hand group. She is very straightforward and she could give it to you in a very loving way. But at the same time, she could give it to your heart unapologetically. And I've always admired that about her. So one day I text her after our sessions and I was like, I want you to teach me how you could be so straightforward unapologetically. And then I told her, but I also know that whatever we admire in somebody else, and she finished the sentence for me. She said, that's because it's inside of you. She is very unapologetic in the way that, and She's very unapologetic in the way that she carries herself, in the way that she delivers her message, in the way that she talks, right? Regardless of what's going on, who's in the room, what we are doing, she is just her. And it's just beautiful. And another reason why, there are people who come often, it's because I am embodying that. Be bold, to be unapologetically you, to be unapologetically me, right? I could do trends, I could do societal trends, from the wigs to the makeup to the types of nails to the clothes I wear, stuff I do, or the things that I talk about. I could have gone the trendy way because that attracts more people, right? That attracts 1,000 views or whatever views it is. But I know this is me. This feels good to me. I want to be able to wear my turban. Well, your friend is not mean. You are mean to yourself. You have to see that. Again, we are going in circles when it comes to you. See, Afrocentric, you need to talk to your Caribbean sister or our Caribbean sister. I'm kidding. But you are mean to yourself, my love. Your friend is a reflection of you. Your friend is not telling you that. She is just reflecting, she or he is just reflecting the voice that is in your head. Just by you writing that sentence, right? It is still a reflection of all the other excuses that you wrote. You are ready to pay me for a session, but you don't want to join a free group to elevate yourself. So your friend is basically you. I could tell you, oh, why would they say that? That is terrible. Don't mind them because God will do this, but that's not going to help you because that is only going to make you feel good for staying where you are at and believing that you are right, not actually seeing that. Your friend told you that God will not bless you. You yourself do not believe that God will bless you. So that is from the divine coming through your friend's voice. Afrocentric, right? It's nothing to do with your friend. It's you, how you see yourself, how you talk about yourself, the actions that you wouldn't take to help yourself, right? You are still around people who vibrate low. Why? Because you vibrate low. You don't believe that God will bless you. You don't believe it. If you check deep within your soul and who you are and who you fundamentally are, you will realize that what your friend is telling you is basically what you tell yourself when nobody's watching. And maybe you don't even know that you tell that to yourself. Your friend is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. We said this, right? But maybe it went over your head. Do you believe that God will bless you? Right? Because you would spat at your peer. Yes. Do you believe that God will bless you? Do you believe that no matter what happens, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you will always have the blessing on the divine? Do you believe it in your heart, in your soul? And if you cannot say, yes, you believe it just like that without any explanation, then that's your answer. Your friend is not being mean. You are mean to you. Even you saying, my mean friend, My mean friend. My, your. Who is the you that is saying my? Still, it's you. Yes, not as weather, but I never want for anything. Still, it's just a matter of yes, I believe that the divine, like for me right now, doesn't matter what happens. If somebody, people don't even ask me that because I carry myself in a way that you see me, you know the power of your thoughts, right? So you are thinking that, and then it comes out through the other voices. It's always a sign. There's always a sign. Everything that's happening to you or what people are telling you, there's a sign. There's a sign of that. See, that make it sense, right? Your friend is not mean. You said my friend. You are owning it. That meanness. My friend is mean. My mean friend. You are mean to you, not as well. So you don't believe that God will bless you. Wealth is everything that the universe has for us. It's not just money. Wealth is everything, right? You don't believe it. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you could move out of the position that you are in. Which is why I said you are not tired enough. You don't believe in yourself, not as financially. You don't believe that divine will bless you, that God will bless you, whatever you believe, right? That Jesus, that the Holy Spirit, their ancestors, whoever will bless you. You basically just don't believe because there's a lot of fear inside of you, right? People, you are resistant to anything that would help you. There's a lot of excuses that you give. Everybody who is within your life right now, yes, so you don't believe. You cannot believe everything to be blessed in everything, but not financially. It's a full package, right? Yeah, believing in self is so important. Yeah, and the moment you believe in yourself, you believe in the divine. That the divine, that God is going to bless you no matter what. Even if you don't have food to put on the table, you have to you have to believe in the blessings all around. There's no pick and choose. Again, I can make you feel good, but that's not going to help you. Your friend is not mean. They're not being mean to you. Whatever they are telling you, you need to look deep within yourself first. Because whatever you said that they said is just a reflection of everything that you've commented today, which shows that the base of your being, you don't believe in yourself. When you don't believe in yourself, you cannot believe in the divine. You cannot believe in God. Because, yes, you reflect that. You reflect that. That is why your friend told you that. Which is why I told you, join the group. But then you're giving me excuses. I work at this time. I do this. My husband, that. I am afraid of computers. I am afraid of that. This, and that. Blah, 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 blah. The cat flied away. I went to this. I worked hard. I lost a lot. I did this and this and this and that. Excuses. Excuses. These are all pointless excuses. There's a pastor that I like listening to. He's very hard to listen to though because he doesn't like African spirituality. But I like his wisdom. And when he teaches, he would always say that a lot of people think that their problem is unique. No problem is unique. No problem is unique. Nobody has a particular unique problem that the world has never seen. You are in pain, welcome to the group. Welcome home. You work hard, hey, who hasn't? You lost a lot, hey, here I am. That's why I'm sitting here, right? And he would say, you have problem with your kids? It's millions of us. You're having problems with your husband or your wife? Woo, all over the world. There is no particular problem that is unique. And nothing is a problem until you make it a problem. If you think about it as a problem, then it becomes a problem, right? Because nothing in itself is a problem. Can you tangibly touch a problem? You cannot touch it. It's the idea of what we have of the situations, right? It feels good for me to come online and for people to come and watch and say, oh, your voice is so nice, so I like listening to you. Right. But then what about the actual work to get yourself to the point where you actually be the one to sit down and do the work, and somebody comes to you and say, Afrocentric, I love your voice and I love how you look. You see what I mean? Comfort is our main problem. We want to be comfortable. We want to be, how is it called? We want to be validated in our stuckness. This is speaking to your triggers. Triggers are good. Triggers are not bad. Excuses, you don't need to be confident, right? You don't need to be confident. Nobody's saying you need to be confident. And triggers are good. We run away from triggers, but it is the trigger that's healing us. That's what David Goggins would always say, get your shit together. You are stopping you. You need to build callous of the mind. Because if you're learning to play guitar, you're learning to play the piano, violin, any musical instrument, or you are an athlete, you want to do gymnastics, you want to do, what is the other one? Ballet, ballerina. You have to build calluses from your fingers for playing the instrument, your feet. Triggers will let you know what you have to heal. Absolutely, Fatimata, right? You need to build calluses for all these things that you're training for. And David Goggins, and I don't know if you saw it, Fatmata and Afrocentric. That's the video that I shared, because we were having a training with Eric Worre, and he was telling the ladies in the group, all of us, to listen to David Goggins, right? So we don't give excuses. So Goggins talk about that. The way you build callus for everything else, that is the same way. We love you. At the kid voice. The way you build calluses for everything is the same way that you need to build those calluses for your mind to be able to move through whatever pain that you're going through or that you have. Because if you don't, then you stay where you are. We stay where we are. David Goggins, you're saying that's speaking to your triggers. David Goggins is triggering to me. The environments that I am in right now is so triggering. Very, very triggering. The environments that I am in. Because there's no excuses of I am this, I am tired. I am waking up now at 3 in the morning. I listen to Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is very triggering to me. And he would always say, do you have the heart to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning? You will not outwork me. And I'm always like, I'm going to outwork this guy. Right? I'm back to waking up at 3 in the morning. My campus, when we do check-ins, morning check-ins, it's 4 o'clock my time. There's no you cannot tell them, oh, it's 4 o'clock, I need to sleep. The first thing the professor will tell you, well, you lazy fuck. And that's exactly how they say it. And I'm like, oh my God. And they don't care if you are a woman in this school, you are a man in this school, you are 13 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, you are black or white or green or yellow, you're from Africa or America or Europe. No, right? It's there's a baseline in both campuses. There is no excuse. Why? Because every single person that is teaching us right now, they have been traumatized their entire life, and they went above it, right? Yes, thanks for sharing. I need that today. Yeah, listen to David Goggins. I probably will be listening to him more because there was something that I was looking forward to and that fell true. And I have always had that habit of having a complete breakdown, like me personally, complete mental and emotional and financial breakdown when I'm expecting something and it doesn't happen. That's a trigger for me. So now I can see it, right? So I'll probably be sharing more of David Goggins in the group because I need to build, I have built it, but I need to build that callus more to know that no matter what is happening now, even though I was expecting this and I put my hopes on it, and today in the morning, it fell apart. It fell through. Been thinking to join you on waking up at 4 a.m., but I was like, I don't think I can do it, but I know I can do it. Yeah, it will be exhausting in the beginning, right? It will be exhausting in the beginning because when I start to do it, I do it constantly. I can wake up without the alarm. I will wake up at 2:45 in the morning because I'm used to waking up at 3. But when I stop and I start again, I get exhausted. So this last week and this week, I've been very tired even when I come online because I stopped waking up at that time. But it's absolutely doable and it will change your energy, your mindset, how you feel waking up when everything is silent, quiet. By the time it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, people are waking up. You're done with most of your work. Yeah, something has to give. You where you are right now, it's absolutely beautiful, and I want you to see the beauty of it, right? But if I make you feel good, you will not be able to see the beauty because you will just buckle and stay. I used to do that. I used to do that, right? But you are at a very beautiful and powerful point in your life right now. No matter what excuses you're giving yourself, because when you're telling me I work a lot, a lot of things fell apart, my husband this, my friend this, you're not giving me those excuses, even though you think you're giving it to me. You are giving yourself those excuses in your mind. So what I am doing right now, even though it is triggering you, is showing you, putting a mirror in front of you and telling you, see, this is what you are saying. So you see what is going on in your mind right this moment. Because you're not giving me those excuses, right? I could take your money, but that's not going to help you. What would help you is you getting completely out of your comfort zone. And if you want to invest in a community, now we can talk about that. But I cannot even get you to be in a free community that costs you nothing because you still have those excuses that you're telling yourself. Everything you wrote in the comments is what you're telling yourself inside of your mind. You're not telling it to me, you're voicing it out. Because, like I always say, you cannot say what's not in you. Everything you say is inside of you. That's why you say it. Everybody you attract in your life, they are inside of you. You and whatever you're going through right now, see, I attracted you. Well, this was my excuse to break down and break through. Okay, so I am here to hold that mirror so you can have your breakthrough. Because in order to have your big breakthrough, you cannot think like that. Right? So I attracted you because there's an aspect of myself that was exactly like you. You're not here because I'm teaching and I'm telling you all these beautiful ooby gooby things or that my voice is suited to you. No, it's because you are who I used to be. I am a reflection of who you can be mentally and emotionally. And I can talk to you because I have been where you are. Even though you're looking at me through the screen, there was a time I was you. You just said, people will call me a healer, right? You just said in the chat, if you knew you couldn't fail, you would be a healer. If you knew you wouldn't fail, you'd be me. Because my goal is to help people heal. If you knew you couldn't fail, see, you would be me. Yet you are still resisting what I'm telling you, right? And I can talk to you this way as if I have known you my entire life, because I have known you my entire life, because I was you. And I'm looking at your picture because I was you. These are the things that I used to say about everything and anything and everybody. My friends are mean to me. These people are mean to me. Oh, I walk too much. I don't want to do this. When I first started content creation, I will give them so many excuses. I don't know how to use the computer. I can't find this lesson. I can't do this and I can't do that. I don't know how to edit. I don't want to do editing. I just want to talk. And look at me now. Every day I look forward to waking up to edit a video. And every day I edit 2 to 3 videos. So I am a reflection of you and you are a reflection of me. I'm not teaching you. You're just looking at yourself. Like you said, if you knew you couldn't fail, you would be a healer. If you knew you couldn't fail, you would be me. And what is my vision? To create a home for those who never felt at home. Who are those who never felt at home? The people who are in pain. All right, I'm going to close it up here. Unless anybody want to have not a conversation, talk about it. It's already 1 hour, 23 minutes. All right. I'm drinking my cleansing tea so early today to cleanse myself because, like I said, I don't know. I like opening the windows, but I get, I don't want to call it allergies. I've changed my language to cleanse it. I'm releasing and it's coming through my nose. So I'll see you again. Well, how about we just take one card? of, should we do guided angels or how to love yourself? You want to talk about anxiety in what way? Like what? Yeah, I can get some videos and playlists that talk about anxiety. But what exactly are you looking at when it comes to anxiety? How to love yourself? Yeah, my daughter is here telling me how to love yourself. How to love yourself. Yeah, Fatima to tell me, maybe we can touch on it now about anxiety, how to get over anxiety, how to understand anxiety, how to call it, not understand, but identify anxiety when it's coming up. I know you're writing if you haven't fall off the life. But in short, our people don't believe in anxiety and depression, and maybe to talk about how to identify and tools to use. Okay, so you're talking about more in depth, like in a psychological way. In my experience, and I can talk about that because I can vividly see the picture and remember the time that I was anxious not long ago. Well, long about 4 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. I can touch on that a little bit for maybe about 30 minutes. So, anxiety. Generally, have you been talking to someone yesterday who was talking about things that I think relate to anxiety, but they don't believe in it? Right, right. That depends where they are in their journey. Or are they in denial themselves? The feeling of anxiety starts with the feeling of nervousness. But the feeling of nervousness, again, it all depends on how we think about it. If you twist the feeling of nervousness, you will see that the emotion of being nervous and the emotion of being excited is all the same. But trauma makes us see it as nervousness. So I have never had, well, sort of have panic attacks, but I've never seen them as panic attacks. Anxiety is like fear. What could be? You're thinking of what's about to happen, what's going to happen. So you're anxious. It's like something happens and you're like, oh my God, this happened. Oh my God, I lost my house. Anxiety. Where am I going to live? Where am I going to go? Right? A lot of people don't believe it exists because they don't have a word to put on it. They haven't broken it down. I want to let me put here what is an anxiety. And yes, I will make a playlist from, I'm thinking of some people that I used to watch. 5 symptoms of what is anxiety disorder. Let me see, choosing therapy. I like that site, choosing therapy. If I can find them, they're not easy to find. Choosing therapy. What is anxiety? Choosing therapy. Right. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. I was talking about nervousness, right? So the beginning it says, experiencing occasional feelings of nervousness, worry, or fear is normal, especially when they arise in response to stressful, unfamiliar, or challenging situations, right? But like I said, if you change the language, it becomes excitement. Oh, I'm so excited. I have never done this before. You could have experienced nervousness or anxiety when you first joined the business. But what did you say? I am so excited that I'm starting my first business. It's the same feeling, right? But trauma switched our brains to that. However, frequent, regular, intense, and lasting, almost daily for 6 months, feelings of nervousness can signal an underlying anxiety disorder, especially when they interrupt a person's ability to function normally. It's the same feeling, right? The only difference is the duration of time that we are anxious. And then it morphs into depression and anxiety because the stress response, right? The stressful feelings is ongoing. It's ongoing. Every day you feel anxious to the point that it's crippling, it's debilitating. It stops you from moving forward in your life. Panic attacks, all of these things are from stressful situations. Let me find it. Fear is not a rational emotion. So even normal anxiety sometimes seems like an overreaction. But frequent anxiety that is excessive or explainable is abnormal. That's the one that I had. Constantly, just anxious. Okay, anxiety attacks and symptoms and signs. So the common symptoms and signs, right? It is feeling intense, irritable, or on edge. Constantly feeling irritable or on edge. No matter what somebody did, you're just like, oh, this person. Everything irritates you. It's that feeling that sometimes us women have when we are on our cycle and somebody can sneeze and you just want to cut their head off, right? Just emotional but you're like intense, you're tense. Racing, racing or worried thoughts, overthinking. Where did I hear this? I don't think it's our camp. Well, it's our campus. They would always tell when somebody say they're overthinking about the videos they have to pick and what to edit. They always say that overthinking is an excuse for doing nothing, for being complacent, which is absolutely true. Because if you really overthink, now you don't have to make a decision or make a choice because you just say, I don't know what to do. No, pick one. And this is a new way of thinking for me. Pick one and do it. It fails, okay, now you know that's not going to work. You find something else, right? But racing worried thoughts can also be ruminating. I will make the playlist. The teachers that are coming to mind, I'll make the playlist and put it in the chat. Where did I put my book? Where? I wanted the other one. I probably moved it. Right? Dr. Ramney talked about it. Yeah, the book. Is that the one inside of it? Yeah, that's better. There is Dr. Ramney who talks about that. She talks about ruminating thoughts. When your thoughts are on overdrive, you cannot stop. Right? No, C is afraid. A member of the Telegram, C is saying join her Telegram. So there's Dr. Ramney and Dr. I think Snipes. Yeah, I'll find her name. So ruminating thoughts. It's you're not rationalizing, because you can rationalize in a good way. The owner of our campus talks about that, and he shows us how to rationalize things. But you are not even overthinking. Ruminating, how can I explain ruminating? Is when something happens and you just cannot stop thinking about it. Maybe it happened 5 years ago, and this is also, this explains trauma, right? Something happens 5 years ago, and up until whatever, now you're saying this, you can't forget it, and you constantly think about it, and it just continues to come up every time. Overanalyze, yes. Two, you overanalyze things. Why did she say that? Why did she say it that way? Why did he do that? Why did he do it? So these are one of the things that destroy most of our relationships. Romantic, platonic, doesn't matter. Because the person does one thing and you have 50 different explanations in your head why they did it. And maybe you are absolutely wrong. So your thoughts are always racing. Maybe something happened to you and then you go to bed and you can't sleep. The racing thoughts. That is part of it. Trouble focusing, trouble focusing and concentrating, right? I have to move this so I can see the comment. Oh, Fatubaji. Hi, Fatubaji. Right now I don't have a program. Is a accountable, I call it the accountability network. So if you're on a healing journey or a journey of knowing yourself, being in touch with yourself, then we just do that. We're there together, we talk about these issues, and then when we come online we break down whatever trauma, whatever wisdom, the things that we need to change our lives, just all that good stuff. Just say societally, the mental health issues and spiritual issues that we don't talk about, that's what we talk about and work on inside the group. So trouble focusing on concentrating. Some people would say, oh, I have a short attention span. You have a short attention span, or you just cannot concentrate. You can't focus your mind, creating a false identity around experience. Afrocentric. And Afrocentric said, I don't know enough to go live. Look at her dropping gems, right? Basically, all the idea of what's behind anxiety and depression, that's what she said in one sentence. Creating a false identity around your experience or any experience, or creating a false narrative. Okay, Fatimata, and I think we need to do a Zoom call. Fatimata, so you're on my TikTok. You can easily join, but I tried to pin the comment, so you have to forgive me too. I am learning TikTok. I pinned the comment to the link of my Telegram group, right? And especially this topic that Fatimata Afrocentric is always laughing. This topic that Fatimata Balde brought. Oh, okay, Fatimata Balde, Fatubaji, which is anxiety. When you understand anxiety, and I'm going to create a playlist for it, it's an easy and sure way to get to understanding yourself, right? Because then it breaks down the feelings that you have. So my TikTok, there's a link in the bio. When you click that link, the fourth bar that you see, it says join my Telegram group. You click that, you join the Telegram, and you can start the work today. Now, it will be triggering. right? But like I said, triggers are good because when you understand your trigger, you know what you need to heal. When you know what you need to heal, girl, you become unstoppable. Fastest way to knowing yourself. It triggers you, you do it, right? What I'm doing is triggering to me, even though some people think that, oh, she's so good. No, it triggers the life out of me, right? So trouble focusing, I have experienced that, which is uh, I think Afrocentric have been here when I talked about taking the NRG, because some people when they have trouble focusing, what they do is they drink a lot of coffee. I have done that to get energy and to focus, right? I don't talk about the products because they are things that you need to go through to get to the products, but the products can be helpful along the way, right? Trouble focusing, concentrating is too much being in your head, just overthinking, overanalyzing, overreacting to anything in everything. When I started, oh, let's see, before you came in, and I think before you all came in, I was talking about my neighbor losing his mind over his dog, being so angry, 9 a.m. in the morning, on the phone, outside, screaming, hitting the garbage cans. And I went out, and I haven't talked to this guy because I stopped talking to him, right? Because the time, what I was telling you, see, the time that I was hanging out with him, he was your mean friend to me. The moment I elevated, I stopped talking to him because I realized the energy that I was reflecting, and that's why I was hanging out with them. But I still had to go outside, and I was like, and from his eyes, how he looked at me, I could tell he wasn't here. He wasn't focused, concentrated, temper tantrum, right? He was anxious, hitting the garbage cans, like kicking the doors, screaming on the phone. I need my dog. I need somebody to open the gate. That is my friend. You would think that somebody stole his firstborn child. Changes in eating or sleeping patterns. Sleeping too much, sleeping too little. Because everything in life, we know it's a balance, right? But sleeping too much, sleeping too little can be a problem of anxiety and depression. And the two are very linked. They're like sisters, brothers and sisters, the same blood and family. You cannot take one from the other. When anxiety continues, prolongs, it moves into depression. But when you're able to calm yourself, that could just be called what? Oh, I was so nervous, because you were able to stop it. But when you're not able to stop it, it becomes anxiety. This is my own interpretation. Restlessness and trouble sitting still. Like I said, I was just observing that today, right? Changes in eating or sleeping. You can go all the way in a very unhealthy way, because there's a healthy way as well. The NutriBurst, yeah, it's a burst of energy. The NutriBurst is good. It's a vitamin, multivitamin. Instead of taking the pills, you take it. Sometimes I take two, even though they say one a day. But I take two because it gives you energy and it curbs your appetite, right? I'm not losing weight, but I also don't want to gain weight. I want to maintain my weight. So yeah, it gives you that burst of healthy energy. Oh, I heard he was on the phone. I know I have to move on to, but I get lonely. And he is the Yeah, loneliness is an idea too. Loneliness is an idea. Loneliness is a belief. Loneliness is different from aloneness. You can be alone and not lonely. You can be in solitude but not feeling hidden, right? So restlessness and trouble sitting still. Sometimes you see people when they sit, I cannot show it here. When they sit, their leg is like they're shaking their leg. They can't sit still. I do that. Even though now I understand my anxiety, I do that. They can't. Or some people, when they hold a pen, they don't even know that they're doing it. They're just like, I hate that, like that, or just because the emotions, it's too much bursting out, which is what I was talking about in terms of anger. If you have a place to channel it, right? I get anxious about things and I get angry about things, but now I have these lives to do. Now I have learned how to edit. And so when I'm feeling that, I can channel it in a very creative way. And I can tell you when I'm stressed out, which is why our campus, they always make us stressed. And they call it light a fire in your soul. Your best creative work comes from whatever nervousness, anxiety that you are having, whatever anger, or whatever you are afraid of. Because when you know how to channel it, right, but you are running away. It's different. So you're still not channeling it the right way. Um, well, given from the things you said, right? So when you are there is channeling it in a very creative way, where when you are done, it feels so good and that relaxing you. Hi, the queen. Hello, welcome, the queen. You too, man. Waiting for you inside the Telegram group. But welcome. So there is working yourself to death. I don't know if this is what you do, right? Because I used to do this. I used to work at H&M. I was a visual merchandiser. I started as a lead, running the floor, and then I became a visual merchandiser. I would walk 12 hours, sometimes 13 hours on my feet intentionally to just get myself so tired that I can't think, I can't feel. By the time I go to bed, I go home, I am completely exhausted, and sometimes I still cannot sleep. But I would overwork myself. I'm telling you, to the point where the supervisors and the managers of the retail store would force me to take a break or to take an off day. Then I should just start my life and stop being scared of people's judgment. I've always wanted to start social media posting and going live. My husband would tell me I can do it, but I will be making excuses. Talk to Afrocentric and see, right? And see too, because she also wants to go live. Now she's still asking me what time is the telegram. Just join. Don't worry about it. There's no time. Just join. All right. And what I always say is, if you relate, especially you that stay with me for 2 or 3 hours, and we're talking about this stuff, which means you really, you see, the queen is here. She is in the business, right, Fatumata? Live. The queen is in the business. She needs to go live. right? For you that have been here for 3 hours plus, which means you relate. And like I always say, if you relate to what I am saying, there is nothing anybody can tell you that you haven't told yourself already. Nobody can hurt you anymore. David Goggins wrote a book about this, and the name of the book is You Can't Hurt Me. Right? Nobody can tell you right now anything that you haven't told yourself already. Nobody can insult you, curse you out, say words that you haven't already told yourself. It might be a different vocabulary, but the moment you know what you mean, you'll be like, I've said that to myself. If people criticize you, you have criticized yourself. Because if you haven't, you will not stay on this live for 2 hours, or even bring in topics that makes the live go 3 hours. Nobody can hurt you. And that's an actual book. You Can't Hurt Me. David Goggins wrote it. And he talks about this. That's the first time I heard anybody say it, from David Goggins. And then I heard Coach Stormy say it. There's nothing you can tell me that I haven't told myself already. There's no insult, no cross words, no criticism. I have told myself everything. And then I saw a quote that said, everything that I was afraid of already happened to me. Everything. There's not one word anybody can say when you go live that you haven't called yourself in the dark, alone at home. Tell me one word that you haven't. So it's just here, right? It's an idea. See, the next point was avoidance of feared situations. Hey, see? Avoidance of feared situations, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not there. Nothing is there. Yeah? Yeah, there's nothing you can tell me that I didn't already tell myself. Just think about it that way. I had to get myself to that point to come on live. I had to get myself to that mentality to be able to talk about these things. Because like I said, right? Some people found my Instagram again, or we got in touch and they thought that I just recently learned this, or that I have changed, or this is new. And I'm like, no, this has been with me my entire life. I was in fear. I was afraid, anxious, depressed, felt like I was crazy. Nobody around me was talking about these things. People have been telling me that I'm deep my entire life, that I only talk about these deep stuff. And so I always thought I was crazy. But to me, there is nothing new in the things that I am saying, because I've always known it. Right? But avoidance of fearful situations, sweating, shaking, or other unusual sensations in the body, feeling disconnected, zoned out. There is zoned out that you can be in flow. You can be in flow mode, right? Where nothing matters. Not time, not what anybody is saying. And that happens sometimes, I don't know. Yes, because yes, to go within. We are scared of going within because we are afraid of what are we going to find. You cannot ask questions growing up. That's the issue, right? That's the issue. because they just tell you, just do what you're told to do. Just do what I say. Even as a grown up, when I was questioning deep within, deep inside of my, when I was in the, what is it called? Why am I forgetting this name? Dark night of the soul. And I spoke to my auntie. She just said, just pray. I don't question anything. I just do what the dean says. I just pray the 5 daily prayers. And I was like, but that's not enough for me. I need more, right? I need more. I know something is up, but just praying is not working because it would have worked for me. Yeah. Panic attacks, I mentioned that, which can include extreme fear, racing heart, right? Or trouble breathing. I used to experience all of that. I talked about how one time I was with a friend and we were on the train. I think it was in Brooklyn, somewhere going to Manhattan. And all of a sudden, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. I don't even think we were talking. I think I was standing by the door and he was standing there in front of me, right? And just all of a sudden, I was just about to faint and train. So panic attacks. Why? And on that day, I can still remember it just mentally. I was so preoccupied and stressed out in my head because at that point, I still did not walk up the courage to be able to voice my emotion and what I was feeling, right? Okay. So yes, I will make the playlist for the anxiety one, and I'll share it in the group. I don't know if Fatuma Tabaji is still here. Well, the name is Fatuma Baji, but it's all the same. But that could be helpful for her as well. And I don't know if C is still here because she also wanted this deck, How to Love Yourself. You're very welcome. But you know, the feeling of nervousness is the feeling of anxiety, and the feeling of anxiety. Oh, you're still here. Okay, so we're doing it. Can still be translated into excitement. When you're nervous, you have that butterfly feelings, right? It's like it's rising up. When you're first in love or you see somebody and then you really like them, you have that fiery feeling. When you're excited, it's you have the same butterflies and fiery and just jittery feeling. It's the same. Where did I hear this? Where somebody was saying that, I think it was about public speaking when I was learning it. And they said, and an athlete too. Who's the Jamaican runner? I think they asked him that too. Do you get nervous before you get on stage or the field or whatever? And they all say, yeah. But I just see it as excitement. I've changed it to excitement. So when I'm going on the field or whatever, I'm thinking to myself, I am so excited to go out on the field. I am so excited to go out on stage to speak, right? And that changes Usain Bolt, right? Usain Bolt. And that changes how you look at the situation. Because if you say it as anxiety and nervousness, it cripples you. But if you name it excitement, I'm so excited to do this. So excited to be on stage. So excited to be in the field. What that does, it gives you more energy and it gives you more power. All right, let's see. Oh, what happened? And this one is How to Love Yourself. See one card. Always call for one cat, but then 50 cats want to come. Okay. And this one, well, you see, two came out. One of them said, I know inwardly what is right for me. I am open and receptive to all good. So this one says, I am open and receptive to all good. And the back says, I deserve to live in an atmosphere of joy and acceptance. I am open and receptive to all good. I deserve to live in an atmosphere of joy and acceptance. And the other one said, I know inwardly what is right for me. I look in the mirror and I say to myself, I deserve all good. I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve joy. I deserve love. Right? I read that one more time. I know inwardly what is right for me. I look in the mirror and I say to myself, I deserve all good. I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve joy. I deserve love. I say, right? So that is it for today. This is the day. And I'll see you again tomorrow. If I still have my voice intact, but I will go get my uh, herbs, right? Because the change of weather sometimes it cleanses me out. But I'll see all of you tomorrow and I'll see you in the group. And everybody else who's still here, who've been with me for 2 hours, Facebook, YouTube, you've been with me for 2 hours, TikTok, Instagram, see you there. Always a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure to do this. I enjoy it. It heals me. So we exchange that healing energy. Bye bye. Mr. Flowers, you are late. Bye bye.